it. Um, so I don't know the details, and we can hear from y'all those details after we've at least outlined what we need for Monday. But in meditation prayer time, which is where I look for answers, I was reminded of early work with a team that now is my favorite people I worked with in my whole life when I was working in Kannapolis, North Carolina, and organizing in the 13th Congressional District. Early on, I was in a meeting in Southern Pines, North Carolina, with Jesse Wimberly, who's awesome. I'm watching the time, so it won't take too much time. And in our first conversation together, he's driving his truck to some meeting, and I laid down the law. It was the first time I'd ever said to someone I was working with, here's what I expect from you, and I need you to tell me if you can't do this. And it was the first time in my life I'd said something as straightforward to a white person that I was working with, and a white man. As a white man, I expect you to do X, Y, Z. And as a coworker, I expect you to do, A, B, C. I didn't know that I'd be a supervisor, but, at any rate, that came in meditation and prayer. And I think that might be a good way for us to do our check-in today. And when I was talking to Jesse that time, I was just thinking about the world and how I'd had it with inefficient, clueless white people, and I just didn't want to have to work with any more. And so I was telling him the whole deal. In our case today for check-in, I'd like you to think about between today and the end of September. I don't want you to think about everything. I want you to view it as if when you start a new job and you're on a 3-month probation and you might get fired, I want you to think about it like that. So if we're going to get through this 3-month probation together, what do we need from each other minimally to be effective? What do I need from you? What do you need from me? And that was 3 minutes. Thank you, Shemaya, you're here now. And if none of us take more than 3 minutes, I think we'll be okay. But before we jump into that, even I want us to be clear on what our agenda is. We are, what I understand is we have to put together an agenda for an upcoming meeting, and we have to review and make decisions about what you described, Kate, as a proposal from Reverend Sadler. Those are the 2 business items I think we have for today. Is there anything else?
I just had a little thought for the day that I wanted to read. It'll take about maybe a half a minute.
Groovy. Well, you'll do that first then. Can you do that now, Shemaya, and then we'll do our check-ins?
Sure.
Okay, groovy.
Sure. So this came out of a book called Acts of Faith by Yama Van Zandt.
Yes.
And it's really a daily meditation for people of color, but I found that it's really good for anybody, really. So today is September the 10th, and consider those whom you call your enemies and figure out what they should call you. And that's by Dwayne Dwyer. You cannot choose sides in a round world. You are either in it, part of it, or you are off. When you have enemies, you are a part of the very things you accuse them of. An enemy opposes your interest or position. An enemy is hostile, unkind, or unfriendly. And what you are doing while all of this is going on, if you consider them your enemy, how can they approach you to get things clear? You are in the middle of what stands between you and your enemy. It is not what they have done or said, can or might do. It is you. It is your thoughts, your judgments, your fear, your condemnation. And if you did not feel guilty, you could not attack those you call your enemy. You believe the enemy is wrong, not to be trusted, unworthy of love. You prepare yourself for the defense, projecting on to the enemy the very things you do yourself. When you have an enemy, look at your own hatred. Understand how the hostility disturbs you, and ask yourself, do I really want to attack the very thing I fear? Today, the only enemies I have are the ones I attack.
Thanks, Shemai. Yolanda Van Zant is awesome. And, often people are just reflecting some of your own, character or whatever about yourself that you're not able to see. And the more upset you are, the more they're reflecting back something you ought to know about yourself. That's really good stuff. So, check-ins, not more than 3 minutes each between now and the end of this month. What do you need from us, the other three of us, to work effectively and everything be cool? And coming from your most whole place, I hope, not your wounded place. All right, take a deep breath. Everybody's gonna go. Kate was on early, so we'll do Kate, Samantha, and Shemai. That's the order people came on the call. So Kate?
Kate.
What?
You're
I'm
checking
here.
in and you're saying from now
Yes,
to
yes,
the
I
end
know,
of
I know. I was thinking about what I was going to say, but just give me a moment, please.
October, no
Uh,
problem.
what I need is to feel like is to be treated like I am a part of something precious that you want to, that, um, that you want to build with us. I want to feel, I need for you to not attack me personally. I need to not be attacked personally. I need to be treated fairly. I need to be given a chance. If you have any accusations against me, I would need for you to bring them to me and to talk to me and talk about if you have a problem with me. Let's just talk about it and work it out. I just need to be treated like someone that is worthy of your time and your energy. I need to be treated like a member of your family. Someone. This is a beloved community. This is what I need. I need to feel safe here, and I do not feel safe in this space because I have been attacked repeatedly, and I have been accused repeatedly without even giving a chance to defend myself because I get talked over. I need to be able to speak, use my voice, and not have my power taken away from me by being talked over. I need to be given this space to be respected. And what I mean by that is to be allowed to be who I am and to say what I feel and for my feelings to be accepted, whether you agree with them or not. I need for y'all to accept that that's how Kate feels. And that's okay for her to feel that way. I don't agree with that, but that's okay. That's what I need. I need to feel like you all want to work with me, like you want to move forward with this movement with me, and that you don't want to leave me behind and move forward and just start to do it on your own and just get rid of me. I want to feel like you want to work with me.
Okay. Thanks, Kate. All right. Glad that's recorded. Sam, you were next on the call. You want to go? And again, this is what you need from us from now through the end of the month. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I need to trust that if you tell me you're going to do something, you're going to do it. I need to trust that if I need help, it doesn't matter if it's a Saturday, I could reach out for help if we're working on a project together. I need to trust that you're going to answer me within 2 hours. I need to trust that I'm not told I'm intrusive when I'm reaching out about work. If we're a family, how is that intrusive? I need to ask you all as a circle to help me with this book tour that Gita is doing, and I need specific help. I need Shemai to help me with the location itself. I had asked George if she would help me with the press release. Kate had said she wanted to do the flyer. I have a great idea for a flyer I've actually started working on, and I need to get it out right away. Tell me if you still are interested in doing that, or if you can help with promotion. I really want to get it out to as many young people as we can. And I know you have those kind of connections with schools and churches, and I would love to promote this to young people in a big way. That's what I need for the coming month, as far as I know.
Awesome. Sounds good, Samantha. Shemai, how about you?
What I need is clarification on some things that I think will be resolved once we talk about Reverend Sadler's proposition. I think that I don't really have a lot of needs in this circle, because I think for the most part, everybody does pretty much the best that they can do. We're all volunteers. We all seek the good in the world. And for me, that really is enough. But I think, you know, as I'm really talking through this, I think the thing that I would like most is for people to open their hearts and their minds to working in a way that we are together, that we're not processing information separately, working on our own projects and things and stuff like that. And if we are working on our own stuff, that it's not because we can't tolerate each other enough to work through each other's strengths and weaknesses. So for me, I don't have a lot of needs in the circle, but clarification, clarity around what we should do next, but also that we are willing to truly work together in it. That's it.
Sounds good. Well, I don't have a long list. I know that I want us to practice being a team and therefore work better as a team, because I don't know if we've had that defined approach. That's why this concept of being on probation worked for me, because if you're thinking in that way, you're trying to figure out in those initial interactions with people, how do I best fit? How do I bring my strengths to compensate for their growing places or their weaknesses, if people think of them that way? And I don't think any of us are weak, but we're not all strong in the same ways. And I can't yet identify what those places are, because we haven't figured it out somehow together. And I look forward to us doing that, and I have deep faith that we can do that. If I'd ask anything, it's that we all develop or refine, if we've worked on it, our awareness of ourselves, our awareness of our triggers. If you don't know what I mean by that, I can tell you. Our awareness of what we really do bring well, a big awareness of our egos, and how do we work out that ego? How do we work out that need to feel stroked and at a girl and you're so awesome and you're the shit? Because everybody wants some of that. How are you getting it? And are we getting it in appropriate, healthy ways? You can only answer that for yourself. Because if anybody else is going to answer it for you, you're going to get mad at them because they're coming at your ego. Nobody likes that. So that's enough for me. It's 1:20 almost, and I want us to get on with what we need to do. So whoever knows what we need for Monday, please say it, because I'm not sure, so that we can get it together. I saw you sending out an email.
Okay, I've got something to say about that.
Okay, cool.
hold on just a second, please. Okay. All right, so I just wanted to review about the last meeting that we had. We canceled the meet and greet to take some time for team building and strategic planning. And then at Monday's meeting, we then talked about the book thing. And
I'm
So-
I'm confused. I don't need a review of what we've talked about, but what are we supposed to
excuse
do
me,
for Monday?
excuse
I'm
me.
confused.
Could you just give me a moment and listen to me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anna told me the book club's not a discussion, and then Samantha sent that email about the book club, so I'm not really sure how to said that defined it as a book discussion. So I'm not sure, but anyway, I just wanted to say about the book club. That's where we left off at. About talking about the book club, and then Samantha, I just want to say that you told me several days ago that you were going to send me the details for the flyer, and you have not done that. And
I'm
so
not trying to talk over you, Kate. I do want you to have the time to say exactly what you want to say. I am confused, as I was 30 seconds ago, about how this relates to what we're supposed to be getting done for Monday. I'm trying to connect the dots between what you're sharing, which I understand, and we have a product we're supposed to be doing on this call for Monday. If I'm not all confused, I heard that our business today was Monday and reviewing Reverend Sadler's proposal. So help me understand, unless there's something happening with the book thing Monday, how that connects.
I just want to say I shared a few days ago the folder with all the information, every detail that I have about the book discussion and signing.
well,
Dang, Samantha, you're making it worse. Y'all just confusing the hell out of me. What's
no,
happening?
let's just finish this. Samantha, when we you have not sent me the specific text you want to use on the flyer, and that's what I was expecting from you. I expect, when we ask somebody to do a flyer, we say, hey, can you do a flyer, and these are the things I want on the flyer. So unless you want to give me you have to tell the person what you want. I think that's the best thing. So I told you that I'd have the flyer done by the end of the week, but I have not received that yet. I just wanted to mention that. And then we all
Okay,
agree.
So I'm Kate, I don't want to interrupt. I think what
Well,
we
you
should.
are interrupting. Can I
Okay.
just say one more thing, please? And then if
Yes.
you don't want to take it in a different direction, you can, and you all can. You have that right, but just please, I would really appreciate it if you all give me space to speak without interrupting me. I know that I'm more contemplative. I'm more, I think differently from you all, and I communicate differently from you all, perhaps. But I really demand that if you want me to be part of this group, that you give me the space to speak. When we last met, we all agreed to, and I was trying to get to there. I was trying to look back, look, this is where we were, and this is how we're moving. This is where we're moving forward. I'm trying to put this in that place. And I was saying about, we canceled the meet and greet, and then now Samantha brought this book club to us, which, we're doing that. I really wanted to cancel the meet and greet because I thought, we're in such chaos right now. But now we're doing this book discussion. Supposedly we are doing it, but I didn't even get I don't have any input in anything because So when we all agreed to meet, so we all agreed last time that we met that to accept Shemaya's generous offer of leading us in a team building retreat on September 30th. Now, since then, Reverend Sadler comes up with this proposal that, you know, he hasn't been working in our circle, and he hasn't been, you know, in the inner workings of our circle, but, you know, he's come up with this proposal. So we need to decide, I think, before we do anything, whether we are going to move forward with Reverend Sadler's proposal. That's where I feel that we're at. Aware that we all work in silos and we all have complete autonomy, and nobody has any input into each other's projects. If we're going to do that, or if we're going to do what we agreed to do on Monday, which is have this team building exercise and try to work together as a team. I don't understand this proposal of Reverend Sadler's where we all do things separately and then somehow we're a cohesive unit. So let's decide that. Could we please, I'm going to ask you all, could we please decide how we want to move forward? Now, Shemaya, if you would like to say something, I am finished. Anybody who wants to speak. Thank you. I appreciate y'all for giving me this time.
I have my
So
hand
what
up.
Oh, okay.
Shemaya, is it okay if I go, or you want to go first?
No, you go right ahead.
So as I said earlier, I don't know the details of what Reverend Sadler shared or proposed or whatever, but I had a last night in my conversation with Samantha, and I think I said this to you on the call, Samantha, what I heard described was not working in silos. I would not be for that at all. I would be anti silo. That's part of what's wrong with the daggum world. So, stopping myself from preaching and wasting our time and rambling, I will focus on last night when talking to Samantha, when she was describing what was going on, I saw geese in flight. In other words, if someone takes a point and that individual by themselves is at the lead of a project they think is important or an initiative they feel like is within our principles, or, you know, a letter to the editor they want to write. If that person's taking the point, then the rest of us, like geese in flight, you know, when geese are together, the rest of us back that person up and we follow their lead and trust and hope that lead goes well. That person who's taking point might do fantastic. They might not do so well, but we've got their back. And I don't know, and I didn't say this out loud to you, Samantha, last night. Didn't think about it till after we stopped talking. I don't know if that means it is a circle event. You know what I'm saying? So yes, Shemaya, you might say, we want to do this thing for a bunch of youth. And, you know, the other three of us back you up. Is that a circle event? Is that a Poor People's Campaign event? That's the piece I wasn't sure about. But I did not imagine anything working in silos. I support and respect the concept of if we initiate something, the rest of us back that. It doesn't mean if I initiate, you know, going to a Klan rally, that y'all gonna back that. It's got to be within our principles. And we also have to have the capacity to do well. Doesn't mean we have to be 100% brilliant front page of the news or the, you know, but we can't suck. So something between an A+ and a B-. We cannot do shabby work. I don't want to be part of that. So that's all.
Shemaya, I just want to interject right here. I just want to clarify that, I mean, I just want to give my perspective of what Reverend Sadler's proposed, as Reverend Sadler told it to me, was that we would come together, we would, you know, do our planning, we'd come together, we'd plan for maybe a month in advance, we decide what projects we want to do, we each choose a project to do, and each of us has complete autonomy, and no one, and the other chairs don't have any say or input or anything. It's just that whatever project each of us comes up with that we want to do, then we have complete autonomy in, and that we get our own volunteers, and we'd be you know, doing the work of that. But anyway, go ahead, Shemai. That's my understanding of it. Shemai.
So, so there are a couple of things for me. You know, the thing is that I've seen group dynamics work in a variety of ways. I don't think that the Poor People's Campaign of the Southern Piedmont Circle is large enough to have these problems, really, in terms of this person is working in a project that's autonomous and not really, you know, no one is really having say over another person or whatever. Really, if you think about it, the way that we're operating right now is sort of that way for the amount of group size that we have. The problem is not working a project on your own. The problem is how we work together on a project or separate projects, in my mind. And what I'm trying to understand, what I need to understand is if we're taking on the response that we can't work with each other, that we can't trust the process that we're all trying to build upon, if we're not going to do, if there is a decision to just take what Reverend Sadler is
That is
for
not
one thing,
how I understood it.
huh?
That is not how I understood it. I understood that we would be supporting each other.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't, yeah.
what I'm
And
saying is that
working to our strengths, all of us working to our strengths and passions in a united, joined vision. That's what I understood. Nothing separate, no
okay. So
silo.
let me just clarify something. Maybe I'm just trying to beat around the bush about what I'm really saying here. What I'm trying to say is that if people don't have mutual respect, understanding, and care for each other, I'm the type of person, I'm not following you to a dog fight. I'm not going to assist you. I'm not going to help you. I'm going to let you spin your little wheels doing whatever it is that you're supposed to be leading. Okay? Not you. I'm just saying, you know, I'm not speaking in that, I'm not speaking of anyone. What I'm trying to say is that we're not at a place with mutual respect, teamwork, understanding that we should be trying to do our own separate projects. And think about it like this. Everybody, no matter how well-meaning and intended they are, all have a different motivation, a different type of agenda, a different way to get there. Now you've got 4 people, instead of moving in one direction, people are allowed to accept what they want with their agenda and then basically work from the same volunteer pool. That is not that right there.
Maya, we're talking about, at least in my head, it's about coordinating the agendas so they complement each other and planning strategically in a way that it works on the calendar so that we can all support.
When people don't respect each other, you won't get cohesion even in agreeing on the agenda.
You know what? That respect has to develop through the work, Shemai. Where did it come from? Where did it come from? It comes from doing the work together. So let's
no, it's beyond that. The work is the work by saying, when a person says, all I care about is the work.
I never said all I care about.
Huh?
I never said all I care about was the work.
I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
I want to be villainized.
Samantha,
okay?
I think what you look now.
Hey, please,
I
Samantha,
have the floor.
please let Shemai finish. I can't hear more than one voice at one time. Y'all working me. My brain is not that good.
I'm trying to be open to listen to what is being said, but just let me have the floor, because I'm not going back and forth about this, and I'm not talking about one person. I'm speaking of the dynamics of this group. Now, if people do not have a mutual respect, love, and understanding for one another, We can position this however we want to position. But if we don't get to the core of what the problem is, it's not going to be resolved. We're going to work on our own stuff, be proud of our own stuff and our own accomplishments, but we're not really going to support the teamwork and the team building and the team response. I know that from working in groups where there is a lack of respect or understanding, or people have misunderstandings about intentions and all of that kind of stuff. And my question is this. Well, this is where I am. It's up to this group, George, Samantha, Kate, to accept what Reverend Sadler is proposing, or to move in the direction that we decided to move in as a team prior to talking to Reverend Sadler, which was we were going to do our team building, we were going to do our strategic planning, and yes, we canceled the team building because we didn't feel like we were able enough to move forward with the team building. But now we've got another project that we can now just disagree on. Do you see how it doesn't matter what it is if we have disagreements that are fundamental? That no matter what project it is. Look at what is taking place with this book thing. We're already talking about what somebody did, how somebody didn't do it, why they didn't do it. And that's going to continue as long as we're in this space together and we're trying to exist without actually coming to an agreement about the solution and working towards that. So what I need to know from folks without commentary, Rodney Sadler's proposal or our initial proposal, it's a yes or no. And it does not, and without judgment, it does not matter to me on what this group decides. But what does matter to me is I don't want people to go through the motions of going through a team building when they have no intention of working towards what we're all trying to work towards, or working towards a solution, that they have their own solution, agenda, or identity around how they think they're going to work. I'm just not, that's what I care about. Now, however, y'all decide you want to run the circle or you want to move forward, it's fine with me. But I just need to know, because once we go through this process, I ain't gonna hold people accountable to nothing else other than not wasting my time and moving towards positivity. That's what I can then hold people accountable to. All this other stuff, back and forth, we've spent enough time doing that. So it's a yes or no. George, Rodney Sadler's position, or the course that we set out for, yes or no?
I have to hold that because Samantha hasn't had a chance to speak for a minute. And I want Samantha to have her chance. Kate went, you went. Samantha was talking a little bit while you were talking, but Samantha hasn't had her time yet. And then I can tell you how I feel.
I don't see Reverend Sadler's idea as conflicting with team building. Personally, I think it's a great way to work together. The way I understand it, not the way Kate understands it. The way I understand it, I think it plays to everybody's strengths. It holds everybody accountable to what they say they can do for each other. Nobody has to really be waiting on anything from anybody. It's a scheduled agenda. It's just organizationally, I think, great. And I think working organizationally like that will help us work together. I think that's part of the problem. And I think that we've been going through this for many, 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 many months. And we're just doing it in a cycle. And we do talk about it. I mean, I am totally denying that we have not tried to fix this many times before. Both Kate and I have had the same conversation with other events, and it's not changing. So let's try something new. I think that I love the vision of geese supporting each other. To me, that's making headway together. And I don't want anybody's ego hurt. I'm not here to confront people. I'm really not. I'm here to do this together. When we get something done good, I'm always happy for all of us. And we can still work as a team, but like, if I'm doing something that is my passion, okay, I'm gonna pour it 100%. You can help me with all your strengths. And when you're doing something, Kate, you're passionate about the veterans or Afghan or the voting rights, whatever it is now, education, whatever it is now, we will get 100% behind what you need to do. But you're doing the pieces you want to do, and you're delegating what you can't do, and working to each other's strengths. But that's your passionate thing. Maybe George's and Parade this year. I don't know, but or maybe there's many, and maybe we can do supporting work together for other organizations. What Reverend Sadler described to me was nothing like working in silos. It was about being accountable to each other and to each other's time, and respectful of each other's time, and knowing what to expect from each other, so we don't get into this stuff. This is messy stuff that comes from disorganization. That's what I have to say. So I don't see them in conflict. I see us learning to work together with organization, and at the end of the month, when we propose, to start team building in that way. That's my view of now. I really hope. I don't like that working in silos. That's not why I'm here.
All right, so my vote, I want it all. I want both. I want us to, for some period of time, with the intention that it informs our ability to take leadership on a project and informs our capacity for working well together, that we follow more on the model that Samantha described. What I will agree with on what you described, Kate, is, well, you know, I say you know, but we don't know. That's part of our issue in terms of our communication skills. When you say autonomy, I hear I get to do exactly what I want to do, and you have to, and nobody nobody disagrees with me. I understand that to mean that if Samantha and I are backing you, then you are the lead. That means you say, I need XYZ. I get to say, I can do Y and half of Z. I'll find somebody to do X and the other half of Z, but I can't do that. Or whatever I can do, I will do. I didn't hear, although I could have if I wanted to interpret it as that, I didn't hear that I'd be excluded from participating if you take the lead, Kate, but that use of the word autonomy, and that's my trigger around the word itself, as limiting participation instead of inviting it. And I would like a model where if any of y'all are taking the lead, I'm invited to participate as my capacity and skills inform. And I'm not, said, no, we don't want you, George, stay away. But yes, we want this that you can do in this and this. So, and I think that could make us stronger and position us well, Shemai, to do our team building work and our strategic planning. If we do it with intention and consciousness and accountability. If we just do it willy-nilly, not that in the past we've been willy-nilly, but some of our things have felt that way, then it's disorganized and not easy to measure and does not help us be a cohesive unit. So that's what I got to say. And reminding us that we have 16 minutes and I have another thing at 2.
Okay, I just want to say that I did ask Reverend Sadler specifically for clarification about the autonomy, and he said exactly what I said to you, that as I'm paraphrasing it, but it's that we would not have any input or anything into what, or anything to do with what that person's project is, what they're doing, unless they specifically came to us and asked us for help.
I think that for one, okay, my question was yes or no. I'm not making a decision on, not making a judgment on what team decides to do. The reason why I wanted to make it yes or no was because I don't, at this point, I've heard enough and I understand enough about who we are as a group and as a team that there isn't a lot of rebuttal. It shouldn't be a lot of rebuttal in this. We are struggling, and it does not matter whether we decide to do something individually, alone, separately, with autonomy, without autonomy. It's going to, I believe that we're going to continue to have conflicts because it's not about how we're doing the work in the sense that people working on own projects or not. We have not gotten to the point where we're getting along to do just the very basics of what we need to do. So what I'm saying is it's a yes or no. And just, you know what I'm saying? If it's no, and y'all want to do what Reverend Sadler is proposing, go ahead and do that. I'm good with that. But I just need to know what we're doing so that I can move us forward, or I can just continue to support the circle the way that I will continue to support the circle. That's
I think we
really
do
what I'm
our
trying
own
to get.
thing.
Yes or no?
I'm sorry, Shemaya. It's a no, and we take the idea and we revise it to suit our needs, and so that it's what we've described here, that it's a hybrid of, you're by yourself in a silo and you're in communication with people that you invite to participate, and those people are the rest of us. So that's what I want. I want people to be able to take lead and take responsibility and all that stuff with accountability. And that accountability is to the circle, not to me, not to Samantha, not to Shemaya. But if you take something on, you're accountable to the circle for doing what you say you're going to do. And I will be there to help if you want me to help. If you don't want me to help, then I need to know that too. And, I'm not going to take it, not going to hurt my feelings. My feelings can't get hurt. I'm good. So it's a no, and that's not a no to Reverend Sadler. It's a no to the concept of us working without being in communication with each other. That to me undermines an already shaky foundation. So I don't want to do that. I agree with what you're saying, Shemaya. I don't want to make things worse. And I think that if we did strictly what Reverend Sadler said based on Kate's definition, we would be destroying, lighting a flame and putting some gas on the fire. I don't think that's a good idea. That's not a diss on Reverend Sadler. That's just how it feels to me.
Okay, I will let Reverend Dr. Barber, I was going to share this with you at the beginning, but I will let Reverend Dr. Barber's words tell you, we do not, this is what he said here when he came to Charlotte, when he launched this campaign in Charlotte in 2017 at Antioch Church. He said, we do not need prima donnas. We do not need people who are for their own interests. What we do need is people to work collectively to move this movement forward. We made a decision about how we're moving forward collectively on when we last met, and I vote no, that we do not accept Reverend, that we do not use Reverend Sadler's proposal, but that we move forward as we have, who are most knowledgeable and who are in the thick of this, that we move forward with what we've already decided. We don't need somebody to come in and tell us, to change our course. That's it.
So what we can do from this point on is.
Excuse me, can I just say something real quick? After we had spoke on the last meeting, I spoke to Anna also about this, and Anna had said that she wanted to do the kind of team building work as a state and as a circle. She does want to do this when she's feeling better. She wants to absolutely dive into team building. So it is something that's going to be going on within the campaign itself. I just want to add this.
So what I think we do is I see where what Reverend and this is the interesting part about all of this is that I do think that we can get to a point. George, is your hand up or is it still up from the?
No, I just put it up.
Okay, go ahead, George.
So I don't know. I don't think maybe Samantha was, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Kate was on last night's call. And one of the things that they talked about, Anna wasn't there, it was a mess, but the mess part was trying to get on the call. But what I remember is that they're embarking on possibly doing some racial equity and inclusion work or anti-oppression work. And in that is relationship building and communication if they're doing it right. So that will benefit us if that's going to happen. Shemaya, your name came up. We were talking about you. I hope you felt it. How are you supposed to feel? What's supposed to happen when somebody's talking about you? Your feet itch or your hand itches or can't remember anymore. But that's all I wanted to say. And I do have to leave in 9 minutes to get on this other call. I'm going to make you Shemaya host.
Okay, so what we'll do is we will go ahead and move towards our team building. I think what we can do within that is we can take, like Kate recommended, which I think is a good recommendation. We take the elements that Reverend Sadler put out there and we look to implement those elements. But I think if we go ahead and we get our team building out of the way, move forward towards trying to create a situation where the chairs are running their projects, things are moving along, people are not getting in dissatisfaction with each other or the work. I think we'll do well, and this will help us in the long run. Now, what I really phase 2 of this request is that we don't, from here on, like George's 90 days, we do not go back and reference the past. We're trying to move forward. It's not that we forget the past. It's not that it doesn't rear its ugly head, but that we say, you know what? This is a new project. This is a new day. This is a new time. Whether somebody let me down in the past before or not, this is a new day, a new time. We're giving ourselves the opportunity of entitlement to have a strong voice and to have a strong stand in this circle. Everybody has that entitlement. So can we just agree for these next, what'd you say it was, George, 90 days?
Yes, and I'm going to take privilege and speak. I can send y'all, or you might have something, Shemaya, that would be a ritual about letting go. Because it's so true that it's like from this moment forward, we are cool with each other. And to do that, though, sometimes you got to consciously let go of what happened in the past. So in my toolkit, I sent y'all some stuff today I said was in my toolkit. In my toolkit are several letting go rituals. One is connected to water, one is connected to fire. And it allows you to actually literally see yourself letting go of the time you said blah, 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 the time they did da, 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 so that it's gone. If sometimes you need that, some people don't, but the ritual is a good one. Just an exclamation point and underline to what you were saying, Shemaya.
And also, it's not to it's not to do something that's, what do you call it? crazy or whatever, but really what you're essentially doing is, okay, like, just take husband and wife. Okay, husband, you fucked up last week, excuse my French, but today we're on a new page. I'm giving you the opportunity to rebuild and to restore the relationship or what has been broken. Really, I guess that's that's what it is. We're allowing ourselves to restore and reconnect with one another. And if we continue to go back to the past and say, well, this person did this or violated me this way and that way, then we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to forgive. We're also not giving the person an opportunity to restore the relationship and to make it whole again. Can we agree to not harp on what we've done in the past, that this is a new day, a new time, a new hour, and we're going to move forward as if we just met each other. And we think highly no matter what. Can we do that? George, can we do that?
Absolutely. I gave you all the new moon dates. Starting something with the new moon ritually is a good thing. I'll give you the new moon 90 days from now, too.
Thanks, George. You know I'm a moon worshiper.
Okay. So can we resolve to do that, Kate?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's the best way to move forward. The only way we can is letting go of anything. Yeah, the new moon was this week, and on Monday I think it was, or Tuesday, and that is a wonderful ritual to do to let go. And this is the time to do it. And new moon is a time to let go of the stuff that is weighing you down from the past, and move forward with new beginnings. The new moon is all about new beginnings, and I'm all for that with our circle.
Samantha?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now what this means is clean slate, mind, body, and soul, positivity, that kind of a thing. But what it also means is we're going to be cognizant of buttons, triggers, those kinds of things. And we're going to work towards now restoring our working relationships, and giving the person an opportunity to restore the friendship and the connection again, and the work again. Can everybody work towards that?
Yes.
Okay.
I love
Kate,
that. Love it.
George.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to talk about it some, but I'm good for it. I like the vision. I just want to get clear with each other about the specifics.
I know, George, you got to go in like 2 minutes, but one of the things that I have found effective, at least on one really good, strong group that I worked in, one of the things that we used to do was we used to take time, during meetings or sometimes after or right before, where we actually like held each other accountable to our responses and things like that. And it's not adversarial or anything like that, but it's just really, if we're trying to improve something, we also have to sort of measure our progress. And what that does is it doesn't allow things to build. We talk about whatever went right, what went wrong, and we move forward. And we're constantly allowing each other to restore friendships, relationships, working business, whatever you want to call it. Like a checkup of sorts. So that's all I got to say.
Shemai, thank you for all of the positive energy and creative intellectual gifts you're giving us, because I think I said this to Kate and Samantha. You couldn't pay me to do this. People do pay me to do this, but as mired as we are, I'd be like, nope, nope. There's not enough money per hour for me to miss with y'all. I do love y'all, Samantha, Kate, Samaye, and you're my Wilf sisters, but good Lord. And those are my closing words. Bye.
I'd just like to ask Samantha if you will send me the text that you want me to use on the flyer. I will be happy to